And want to throw out a special thank you to Wally back there. He's come up to my place. I'm pitifully trying to establish 50 acres of native warm season grass, and it's a slow process. And he keeps telling me to have patience, patience, patience. So, but congratulations to both of y'all, and y'all do great work. Moving on to Frank Fisk. Come on up, Chief Fisheries Division.
Thank you. Well, likewise, in the Fisheries Division, we have people that we want to recognize annually, and our first award is to the Fisheries Biologist of the Year, a man that I've had a lot of fun working with over the years, so I'm really excited to give this award. It's to Travis Scott. Travis was nominated for his performance for being a manager at Tellico Hatchery, but he didn't start out there. He started in 1999 in our stream crew in Middle Tennessee. Then he went on to be an officer in West Tennessee. He came back to Middle Tennessee to work at Flintville Fish Hatchery. And there he really showed off how good he was at managing a hatchery. And then he went back to East Tennessee in the stream crew to be closer to his family. And at that point, he was able to transfer over to work Tellico Hatchery. So he's had a quite diverse career to this point. It's the significant accomplishments at Tellico Hatchery that has really elevated Travis in our eyes. Under his leadership, the Tellico staff has implemented a series of best management practices that have resulted in tremendous increases in production. In the last few years, the Tellico Hatchery has stocked 29% more trout under his management, and that's 23% more by weight. So he's not just stocking little fish. These improvements have positively affected the quality of fishing, not only at Tellico River, Citico, and Green Cove Pond, which are right in his management area, but also the Hiwassee River and other sites in Polk County. Since he arrived at Tellico, we've seen a 14% increase in sales of that local fishing license. So we could stop right there, but I'll go on. He's done more. The Tellico Hatchery is also the home of the Southern Appalachian Brook Trout Hatchery. This hatchery was first put into production in early 1990s, and it failed just after after a few attempts. They gave up on the project. It lay dormant till 2010 when the U.S. Forest Service and Trout Unlimited generated interest in trying this project again. And it soon became clear that to be successful, it had to be incorporated in part of the Tellico Hatchery's overall job plan, so to speak. And Travis has helped facilitate this process. Even before he became a manager, he eagerly accepted the challenge by helping manage the facility. The brook trout hatchery is now fully incorporated into the scope of the work at Tellico, and Travis has become a leader in Tennessee's brook trout restoration efforts. In addition to his field work, he represented TWRA on a Forest Service video describing the brook trout restoration. He was our spokesperson, if you will. And this video has had a national audience. I went to a conference out west, and they showed it. I was like, "There's Travis." So he's getting around. He's always looking for ways to provide anglers with great fishing opportunities. When Irwin National Hatchery has a lot of big brood fish, sometimes they'll give them out, but rather than stock them all at once, he devised a way to deliver them over a longer course of time and provide more benefit by resurrecting some 80-year-old hatchery ponds on the site, and he got them working so they could stock those fish. Then when anglers catch these fish, they refer to them as the Tellico trophies. Travis takes every opportunity to represent TWRA. He has served as president of the Tennessee chapter of the American Fisheries Society. He attends river cleanups, he supports kids' fishing events, and attends a variety of events each year. He eagerly accepts invitations to speak to conservation or sporting groups, and his passion for TWRA and Tennessee's anglers is truly evident in his work. Thank you, Travis. Great job. Our next fisheries award goes to the Technician of the Year, and that is Glenn Bryan. Glenn serves as a reservoir technician in a work group responsible for the management of Normandy, Woods, and Timms Ford reservoirs, as well as 7 agency lakes in Middle Tennessee. He's always eager to assist with other TWRA assignments, including the archery in the schools, deer and dove assessments, access projects, and hatchery work. Glenn has a genuine interest in the design and structure of fish attractors. To balance productivity and cost, he's communicating constantly with biologists from other southeastern states to try to design the perfect attractor. His current model, as he calls it, is the fish hotel. We've got a lot of technicians that are building fish attractors across the state, but what we really appreciated with Glenn was that he's going out after he deploys them and evaluates them to see if they're really working or not. And if they're not working, he moves them to another site until he gets it right. So it was that extra effort that really set him apart from the other technicians working on these kinds of projects. So there's a lot of lucky anglers in Middle Tennessee that get to enjoy those fish hotels. His other job duties entail, he works about half of the creel survey on Normandy Reservoir, and he is so effective and well known among anglers that he gets called throughout the week, 7 days a week, asking for fishing advice. He eagerly assists them as he loves to fish also, and he never tires of talking about fishing. His willingness to identify he tells them where all those fish attractors are that he puts out, and a result of his efforts, the fishing pressure on Normandy Reservoir was higher than any other Tennessee reservoir surveyed in 2014, probably per acre. He has a lot of interest, and he generates a lot of interest and enthusiasm for our fisheries. One of the pictures that was taken of him holding a 10.5-pound bass this past year generated something like 200,000 Facebook hits. So everyone could see his excitement about fishing. Most importantly, we recognize Glenn's enthusiasm for his job and dedication to TWRA. Every day he arrives filled with excitement to make fishing better, assist all anglers, and lead his coworkers in a positive, fun, and productive day. For this, we are deeply appreciative, and we recognize Glenn's superior efforts as the 2015 Technician of the Year. And I'd like to invite Glenn's son, Matt Bryan, Officer Matt Bryan, to the podium as well, to join in the photo.
Are you going to give us his phone number?
We expect some fishing tips. So.
I can attest to Glenn's.
Oh, with me?
I can attest to Glenn's fish attractors. I was fishing at Normandy in the summer, and I wasn't having the best day, and I ran into him. He said, "How you doing?" I said, "Well, not that good." He said, "You ought to try that point over there. Just about 15 yards off that point. Try that." And the second cast, I caught about a 20-inch smallmouth, so they work. He just put that out about 2 weeks before, also.
Thank you, Frank, and thank you all both very much for all your work. And I know the pay doesn't justify it, so you've got to love what you do, and we sure do appreciate it. So thank you very much. I'd like to ask Darren Ryder, Chief of Boating and Law Enforcement, to come up.
Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you, Mr. Bryan, for some pretty good stock you left with us with your son and Matt and his sergeant duties there in District 21. We appreciate that. But today, I'd like to, on the behalf of the agency and the Boating and Law Enforcement Division, is present the 2015 Part-Time Boating Officer of the Year to Alan Harold. What's unique about Alan, he was the first to receive this inaugural award that we presented in 2010. He also received it in 2011, and here again in 2015. So roughly that makes him the recipient 3 out of 6 years. And then also Alan was the NASBA Regional Southeast Regional winner of the Boating Educator of the Year award in 2012. So he was slacking in 13 and 14. I don't know what he was doing. But Alan is his assigned work area is in District 21. It's a 12-county area in Middle Tennessee that includes 5 major reservoirs. It's Percy Priest, Old Hickory, Cordell, Hull, Cheatham, and Barkley. Alan is actually one of the original part-time boating officers when the agency implemented that program 24 years ago, and that program was designed and built to add the extra manpower needed during peak hours of the boating season. And also, a unique thing about Alan is he spent 30 years as a Metro Nashville policeman. 5 of those years he patrolled. 20 of those years he was a canine officer, and he spent his last 5 years in the narcotics division using his drug dog. Alan's law enforcement efforts this year, he inspected 273 vessels for compliance that resulted in 37 citations, 5 warnings. He also assisted in 7 BUI arrests and 11 boaters that needed immediate assistance. Alan also assisted with 2 boating accident investigations in District 21, one that included a fatality and one was an injury accident. Alan's boating safety efforts, he conducted 7 boating safety courses that certified 263 students. His outreach programs included the Nashville Boat Show, 7 other public programs, and Alan uses our fatal vision goggles to educate people on the dangers of operating a vessel while impaired. He also participated in one of the television interviews and provided BUI education awareness at the Nashville Sports Fest. And another valuable contribution that Alan adds is he instructs all our newly hired wildlife officers in boating safety. In addition, we have what we call Blue Card Commission folks, and he teaches the boating education to those officers that carry our Blue Commission cards. Alan's supervision is here, Captain Dale Grandstaff and Lieutenant Jim Hooper, and Alan's wife is here, Miss Gwen, and they participated on the boat last night. I think they had a good time on that. So with that, as you can see, that's one of the reasons why he's very successful in our mission to provide Tennessee waterways that are safe and enjoyable for all users. Congratulations, Alan. Not that you'll notice, but as he comes up here, we've stripped him of his sidearm because he aged out. But I promise you, he's probably got 2 or 3 in his pockets.
Sure don't look like he aged out.
Alan, I don't know how many clocks and whatnot you got, but this year we got you a knot board. And if you got one of these hangings, I'd be bartering for one of them trout pictures over there. And just one more quick note that since Alan aged out and no longer can carry a commission for us, we have him on a 120-day assignment to where his effort and focus right now is going into the schools and working with the school resource officer so we can get the boating education program implemented in our school systems.
Darren, I don't know if they age out at like 45 or 50, but he looks young. Alan, we really appreciate it, and evidently you're pretty awesome at what you do from all the awards and recognition you get, so thank you for making us look good. So we're going to move on into the committees. Does anybody else got anything else need to present? Staff? Okay. We're going to move on into the committees. Retention and Recruitment Committee, Chairman Jim Ripley.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This time I'd like to recognize J.W. Worthen he is the director of the Tennessee Scholastic Clays Program.
this going. Might need my daughter to get this going too. Good morning, Commissioners. My name is J.W. Worthen, and I'm the Director of the Tennessee Scholastic Clay Target Program. It's one of many programs offered by the Tennessee Wildlife Federation. Last month we were able to present to you in Nashville. We presented and highlighted several of our standout performers from the program. And today we want to really take a more in-depth look at the program. We're going to give you some overall program statistics, and we're going to show you how we take these kids full circle. We take them from a non-shooter all the way to an outdoor enthusiast and a hunter for a lifetime. And lastly, we want to give you a true feel for the impact of the program on these kids for now, and then the impact that we have on them in the future. We're constantly refining the process and the surveys on these participants at these events to truly find out the answers to these critical questions that we're asking. And with that, we're going to introduce Andrew Piercy. He is the manager of the SETP program and done a great job to get the program where it is today. Andrew.
Thank you, JW. Good morning, Commissioners. Get this thing to work with me here. As many of you all know, I have addressed y'all in the past. I am the manager of the Tennessee Scholastic Clay Target Program. And our mission is to introduce youth to the outdoor shooting sports and recruit them into an outdoor lifestyle for a lifetime. To do that, we're taking kind of a two-pronged approach. First is through our competitive shooting, and second is through our growing youth hunts program that we've had for a number of years. But first, I'd like to express thank you to the Commission through the generous grant that they give us each year to aid in this operation. Through that, we're able to reach more and more youth across the state and continue to grow the program. I also want to thank the numerous agency members that help run the program over the years and the officers that help out in the local area as we go forward. Like I said, our Clay Target program, we're working to build wildlife and conservation leaders through the shooting sports, get them involved in the outdoors and get them competing. The program was founded in 2001, and we participate primarily in the American sports of trap, skeet, and sporting clays. But like I'll talk about a little bit later, we have a growing presence in the international games of bunker trap and international skeet. We introduce youth to the shotgun sports. We teach and preach safety throughout everything we do, so we make them responsible firearms owners on the field, hunters, and everywhere that they participate. We also emphasize scholastic through high academic standards, and we recognize that performance on and off the field with scholarships and all-state awards. And then utilizing those same athletes, we offer youth hunting and fishing opportunities. The demographic of most of our teams that participate across the country, across the state, is predominantly schools. The next leading group is usually our 4-H and other local gun clubs. We're trying to get into more and more schools across the state, and as this program grows, they're beginning to see it not as a shooting program, but as a real athletic competition. Our demographics, operate across the state. I don't know what happened to my presentation, but you can tell the one there, the large blue one, is Region 1, Region 2, Region 3 and 4, the other two that are growing, but kind of follow the demographics across the state. Our population is low in those areas due to some expanded growth opportunities we're working on of trying to build more ranges. Across the state, you can see over our number of years that we have, trap is still our leading sport that most of the kids participate in. But as you can tell, skeet and sporting clays are growing fast, and they're actually reaching the capacity across the state faster than anything else. This past year, we had 2,150 athletes from across the state. That's only up 78 from our year before, but we continually have to replace 300 to 400 athletes each year, so a growth of 78 is extremely good. We recruit from the grades of up through the 5th grade for our rookie division, the middle school grades of 6th through 8th for our intermediates. Our senior division is our varsity in 9th through 12th, and then we have a growing collegiate division. You can kind of tell the distribution of our grade levels at this. We peak in about the 9th grade, but we've also shown steady increases in every grade level for the last few years of the program. And our college programs are growing. Right now, 2 colleges in the state of Tennessee, Bethel University and Martin Methodist, offer scholarships to athletes to compete in the Clay Target program. We have numerous colleges that are trying to get on as club teams. The three big ones we have right now are UT Martin, Roane State, and my own personal favorite as an alum, Vanderbilt. We have potentials at University of Memphis. We're working with a couple of students there, and we're always getting requests from UT Knoxville, and hopefully we'll get that one off the ground soon. To get the kids started and, like I said, to preach and emphasize that safety, 100% of our athletes required to complete and pass hunter education. This is a growing number across the board. 1/3 of our athletes said they took hunter ed just to join the program and might not have taken it otherwise. That's bringing in a lot of parents, especially mothers, who might not have taken hunter ed either because they're bringing their kids to that opportunity and staying for the class as well. And 65% say that TNSCTP was their driving force to get into the shooting sports. And in most of the schools, the athletes that we reach out to are not participating in any other extracurricular activity, because this is a gender-neutral sport. We have the high school homecoming queen, to the quarterback, to the nerd in the computer room. Everybody is able to participate in this sport on equal footing. And out of those athletes, we have talked with them, and each one of them impacts a minimum of 5 individuals across the board, varying from family members to just people they interact with at gun clubs and other people they see around the community. In a recent survey, 54% of them said they were introduced by someone in their family, so this is a growing family event. To give you a brief overview of the season, our registration begins in September 1st. For several of our youth hunts, we have an early bird deadline of January 1st. Throughout the season, we have coach trainings, local gun clubs, and most of the teams will start up in the spring after the weather begins to get warm. Each athlete is required to shoot 600 practice targets before they come to the state shoot. Now, just in the practice targets alone, that is 1.25 million targets being shot across the state. Over half of our athletes are shooting 1,000, and the majority of those are shooting 1,500 athletes before they come to state. Our registration ends around the 1st of April. We have our Junior Olympics, which participate in Paris, Tennessee, and our regional championships, which are held in the 4 major regions of Tennessee after Memorial Day. This past year at our state shoot at Nashville Gun Club, we had 2,100 participants over 5 days. This is the largest shoot held in the state of Tennessee. We shot over 2,300 targets, 2,300,000 targets. Then, many of the athletes that you all saw last month, they went on to compete in the national championships were held in the middle of July. At that state championship, we recognized 60 regional champions and 15 state champions across the state. To date, we have awarded 84 scholarships for a total of $83,000 to our athletes across the country to continue their education in whatever field they choose. And like I said, our athletes are growing in the international sport. The Tennessee Wildlife Federation is the #1 out of 6 Olympic certified shotgun training centers across the country. And we hold the largest junior Olympic shoot held anywhere in Paris, Tennessee. We also currently have 3 athletes, one of which you got to meet last month, which is pictured here below, Ellie Roditas. She came in bronze in Spain. This past week, along with Samantha Smith and Emma Williams, they competed in the top 10 of all female shooters in the U.S. for the 2 or 3 Olympic spots to go to Rio in 2016. In our national championships, we continue to dominate there as well and make a large, well-known presence. Almost 600 athletes came from Tennessee, making up 1/4 of everyone that was there. You can see from the flags down below, everywhere we went, somebody knew we were from Tennessee. We brought home 24 national titles, most of any state. And that to date, we have 104 over the past 14 years. But it's not just about the awards. What are we teaching these kids? The first thing we concentrate on is safety. Like I said, everyone is required to pass hunter ed. Our coaches teach and preach safety in every aspect, and we do that the same as them as well. Teach them awareness, to just simply be knowing what's going on. Responsibility and confidence, that we're taking young athletes and we respect them enough that we're putting a firearm in their hand. Sportsmanship through the competition, so they learn fair play. And they're growing relationships with their team members, their coaches, and their family. In numerous surveys, that's what they've come back and said they have the most fun with. Since the inception of the program, we believe we have impacted 100,000 individuals from surveys from our athletes. Our coaches put in over 85,000 hours each year volunteering to help the program. And on average in the year, we throw over 3 million targets across the entire state. Our biggest barriers to growth, and we're continuing to work with those, is the proximity of teams to ranges and the existing practice space at numerous ranges. All of our ranges are under, I don't really want to say under threat, but they have dwindling capacity that we're taking up and filling, and the standard membership age is growing up. Through the Wildlife Federation, we've helped grow those ranges. We've placed over 63 machines at 20 facilities across the state. Many of you all have seen me up here for several years, and I've talked about this. The next barrier is ammunition costs. It costs about $10 to $11 every time they step to the line to shoot. We work with them by offering about $100 per shooter for any new team as they start up. And we continue to work with the Friends of the NRA and other fundraising opportunities. We've grown the program. It was just me for a long time running it. We've now added J.W. Worthing as a director and brought him Stephen Cawthorn as our program coordinator. And recently, and I'll talk more about what he's going to be working on, is Philip Kruger's our youth hunt coordinator to really emphasize and take our athletes out into the field. We've recently overhauled our website, and the Tennessee Wildlife Federation has implemented a large program measurements tool to let us know how our support is working and the impact that we're reaching our athletes across the state. You all heard the responsive management survey a few months back, and we were featured in that study about a year ago and got a preliminary. We have some very positive aspects from this. Our participants increase their activity of knowledge and hunting as we go through the program, and we're one of the top ranked programs who actually take people out into the field through our shooting sports program. Some of our new measurements that we have gotten from our athletes from our new measurement efforts, 92% say they were taught the importance of safety out on the field. This is huge, knowing the things that have been going on. There have been improvements in firearm safety, teamwork, confidence, focus, and a relationship with both the people they shoot with and the adults they participate with. And like I said, our second phase is our youth hunting and fishing program, which we're wanting to ignite a lifelong passion for fish and wildlife and get these kids involved in the outdoors. In our survey of our athletes, 84% said they wanted to hunt and fish more often if the opportunity was there. And that 66% said that the Scholastic Clay Target Program has helped them to do that. Last year, we were able to offer 175 outdoor experiences. This year, we're shooting for 300 plus to get the kids involved in the outdoors. And Philip Kruger is going to be taking a large portion of that. The first foray into doing this was our youth hunting program with our Davis P. Rice Youth Memorial Waterfowl Hunt. It was named in honor of Commissioner Rice's son. Our goal was to get youth introduced into wildlife hunting and especially waterfowl hunting. We take almost 120 youth each year. We've taken 770 to date, and this is our 10th year. From a show of hands at the meeting, approximately 70% of them say this is their first waterfowl hunt, and 50% say it's their first hunt of any time. Our goal is to get them outdoors and out from behind that TV screen and hopefully out from behind the phone screen. But as you can tell, when it's a slow day in the duck blind, they all revert back. And we won't say who's hidden next to Lance.
See, that's me there.
That is. Our growing program that we're trying to add.
A bad influence, aren't I?
Yeah. You weren't the only one there, though. But our growing program is our youth dove hunts. This year we were able to add several hunts that we've had. First, we were able to partner here locally at the Hiwassee Refuge, the Hiwassee Management area, with the Safari Club here in the area, and TWRA, and especially Jason Jackson, and to sponsor that hunt and provide a lot of useful things to them and get several athletes who were able to participate with the other public that came to that hunt. We've got another hunt that we host each year in Rogersville, next door to Commissioner McMillan's property. We have a hunt in Jackson, a new one that we added this year in Unionville, and a coach that we have in Eagleville that takes numerous members of his team out. This year, all total, we were able to take 148 youth out in the field and shoot almost 85,000 shells. We harvested almost 560 dove, and at 56% of them that we surveyed after it was over, they said this was their first or second hunt, and 99% of them said they wanted to go again. We're trying to find that one kid. In addition to those, for our areas that we didn't hold direct hunts, we promoted 6 additional youth dove hunts that were in the area for other athletes to take advantage of. And while there, we don't just take them out and put them in a field and say, okay, go have fun. Part of our goal is to instruct them about how to hunt properly. These were a couple of posters that we presented and had as part of our training process that were there to let them know what does a dove look like versus what does a killdeer look like to not shoot at. And we've all been told out in the dove field, don't shoot at a low dove, but what does that really look like? This was a great visualization for some of the kids. They had a blast being out in the field, and not only did we teach them how to safely hunt, but we were also able to teach many of them how to clean doves when they got off the field, and from a conservation standpoint, we were able to teach them how to age the doves and know which were first-year doves, which were multi-year doves, to know how old the flock was that they were shooting out on that field. The kids responded, what part of it did you like the best? Overwhelmingly, they wanted to kill the doves. But I also find it refreshing that most of them just wanted to be out there and enjoy the great atmosphere. Some other things that we've looked at, as a part of this hunt and what they've also commented on is that it helps them identify what they're shooting at when they get out in the field and to know what they're talking about. We had the picture of what we thought were the most common, but we also talked about other birds that they would see. We've helped them with their confidence. We put them out there and put them in an environment where it was just youth and they were able to grow and they felt more confident in the field. And we also told them more about the game laws to let them know what was the bag limit, why did we hunt certain things, why did we not hunt certain things, and why did we sometimes let a field rest. In addition to our hunting experiences, we've wanted to reach out and add more of our families and bring in more people associated with their athletes into the program. So we've instituted a couple of great fishing rodeos. The first was held about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and we had about 28 anglers. 18% of them had no fishing experience before they went. But when they all left, everybody wanted to come back. We have a second one planned for the 24th. We're also working on a model for a couple of squirrel hunts. We've got about 6 hunters who want to go out. We're building a model so we can take more of those youth out next year. In addition to the great things we're doing with our SCTP program and our youth hunts program, we're working more to provide that information out there to potential athletes, potential coaches, and others that want to get involved with the program. We've recently revamped our website. Many of you all, it's kind of hard to read our URL there, but it's www.tnsctp.org, and it's also part of the Tennessee Wildlife Federation's main website. So we've really grown to enhance that as well. Like this says, kids don't remember their best day of television, but they do remember being out there with the coaches involved and the parents and the officers and everyone that helps them in their daily lives and being involved in this sport. With that, any questions about the program or anything?
We certainly thank you for that presentation. This is a fantastic program, and it is truly the future of our sport and what we love so much. You guys are just doing a tremendous job. Are there any questions from the commissioners or comments?
I'd just like to thank JW and Andrew for everything y'all are doing. It's a great job, and I've been there and watched it. I mean, the kids love it. And most of them are better shots than I ever thought about being. So
I don't
That's
shoot
certainly
with them.
true.
I let them shoot, and I'll wait and shoot later.
Yeah. So.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Turn it back over to you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Chairman Ripley. This time we're going to take a little short break because I'd like to see the video and everything. If Darren and if y'all can get it, I've got a 12-year-old up in the room. If you need her to come down and straighten it out for you, but let's take about a 10 or 15 minute break. So.